stakeholder collaboration towards coping with the current, multiple, and interdependent challenges, which are putting a tremendous strain of the food supply chain. Another thematic of interest, a precious regional heritage, sign of proud, rewarding a common traditions. The Mediterranean diet represents, especially in period of crisis, a powerful tool in promoting sustainable development for a healthy community. A change of route is needed, requiring urgent action to trigger concrete solutions, taking into account the rational management of natural resources, our cultural diversity, and strategic dimensions across the region. Since 2001, SIAM has developed many activities for the implementation of the recommendations of the annual conferences of the ministers of agriculture of our region, focusing on MEDAIT as a pillar for the development of the marginal areas and highlighting its role in boosting the resilience of local communities and their ability to maintain viable and sustainable production systems. Our policy at SIAM Bari is to update our educational and capacity building programs to prepare the young generation to deal with the main challenges in the region. Some important initiatives have been taken recently by introducing new specialized training courses and master degrees in sustainable development, innovation and entrepreneurship, sustainable coastal management, and precision agriculture. We believe that tackling food system transformation towards sustainability and resilience is a systemic process that needs to consider sustainable food systems as a whole. This process has to go beyond disciplinary and specific approaches and has to engage a wide range of Mediterranean stakeholders, individuals, governments, and all concerned academic researchers and international bodies. The Eastern and Southern Mediterranean countries suffer from reduced management policies and practices, which jeopardize the agricultural production potential, fresh water resources, and food security. Initiatives in favor of agriculture, rural and human resources development, in particular by bringing women into the process, will improve food security, public health, social stability, and the regional economy. As Bernard Braudel put it, the Mediterranean is what mankind makes of it. Ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, I hope that these 3 days of knowledge exchange, debates, and networking will lead to significant and valuable outputs. With your competence, expertise, and skills, SIAM, our organization, is confident that this conference will open the way for a concrete and prospective roadmap to face the current regional challenges. Siam Bari, with all my colleagues, is also committed, with the help of our efficient partnership with the Italian cooperation, the Mediterranean and the European actors, to promote, following up, and facilitate the implementation of your resolutions and concrete outputs. We will be listening carefully to you, and with the power you represent in our fragile Mediterranean region, we can together serve our community and improve its resilience to the daily challenges. God bless to you, and thank you for your attention.
Grazie direttore per questo saluto di benvenuto, per tutto quanto è stato fatto per l'organizzazione di questo convegno, per averci assicurato questo tempo meraviglioso per la nostra apertura. E adesso avremmo dovuto avere in collegamento il vice direttore generale della FAO, Maurizio Martina, che si trova in Egitto. Abbiamo appena saputo che non riescono a collegarsi e quindi ci manda i suoi saluti e i suoi auguri di buon lavoro, ma purtroppo non potrà collegarsi. Continuiamo dopo i saluti di benvenuto e chiedo ai rappresentanti di alcune tra le più importanti istituzioni europee che sono qui con noi oggi di intervenire, e chiedo di raggiungerci sul palco ad Angelo Riccaboni, Paolo De Castro e Giovanna Stawawi. Angelo Riccaboni è presidente della prestigiosa Fondazione Prima, che un ruolo di importante sostegno ha garantito all'evento che oggi si inaugura. Gli chiedo di prendere la parola e siamo pronti ad ascoltarlo. Grazie.
Distinguished participant, dear colleagues and friends, on behalf of the Prima Foundation and the co-chair of Prima, Mohamed Shinawi, we are very pleased to be here, and thanks Siam and Yamb for their kind invitation. And also we would like to congratulate with them for organizing such an important and relevant event. This event is very important because we are celebrating 60 years, the first 60 years of activities of Siam. Siam has contributed with their programs on innovation, cooperation, capacity building, education, to build bridges among the two shores of the Mediterranean, and also to promote peace, which are two goals very important to us in this moment. But also this event, which is in person, and I think we like to see each other again in person, is very important because we have the opportunity to discuss very important issues. The Mediterranean food system was already under pressure even before recent events in terms of consequences of climate change, loss of biodiversity, low profitability of our farmers, in terms of changes in dietary habits of our populations. COVID-19 and the current international situation, the war in Ukraine, are giving even more deep problems to the area. We all know in terms of lack of materials, raw materials, lack of fertilizers, increase of cost of energy, the cost of food. So new poverty, unfortunately. So we need to discuss these issues because are really in our agenda. In order to deal with these old and new problems, cooperation is fundamental. We need to work together. We need to put together our funds, our brains, our activities. This is difficult, but we must do it because these problems do not know borders. So we cannot tackle these problems alone. So cooperation is very important. Another important answer is given by innovation. We need to do things in another way. We need technological change. We need organizational change. We need institutional and social innovation. So the keywords for the future are cooperation, as also SDG 17 says, and innovation. But these are also the keywords of PRIMA. PRIMA, which stands for Partnership for Research Innovation in the Mediterranean area, is mainly focused on cooperation and innovation. And we are very pleased that the program is working very well. It is considered a positive benchmark. And I would like to thank all the members of our communities. And here I see many of them. One name for all, our dear friend, Mouina Hamseh, who was with the initiative since the beginning. And now we are considered a positive case for cooperation and innovation. I would like to give you only a few numbers. We have 19 countries working together, and we have funded so far 168 projects, and we have 1,600 research units working together under the same strategic research innovation agenda with about 10,000 researchers working together. And everything is done according to the principle of equal footing. We do believe that only if we co-govern, we co-manage, we co-fund, we can solve the huge problems in front of us. So we are very pleased that things are going well. We have 4 major areas of activity: sustainable farming practices, better use of water, more effective value chains, which are the value chains connected to the Mediterranean diet, and the promotion of the water, energy, food, and ecosystem perspective, an integration between these 4 themes that nowadays we see how important it is. So the initiative is going well. We are also promoting med diet, which is another of the issues we are dealing with. And we are targeting to the value chains, which are very relevant in our area and for the Mediterranean diet, such as olive oil, wheat, but also fish, and also tomato. And also local productions, which are very, very important, local productions for the Mediterranean diet. So we do believe that cooperation is extremely important. And also we cooperate with other major initiatives in the area. We are very pleased to cooperate with FAO, UFM, and SIAM for the SFS Med platform that will be illustrated later in the day. But also we are very pleased that we work hand with FAO, for instance, for the Innovation Week. We will contribute to the Innovation Week very soon with SIAM on many occasions. I still remember the words that Mimo Lacerignola told me 10 years ago when the journey towards PRIMA started. So really, I'm grateful to him for his advice. And also we work very close with the UFM. UFM is a key partner for us. We are working together on several issues. We are working together on their UFM research innovation roadmaps, but also we are working together to the Med Pavilion, which was a very smart idea by our dear friend Nasser Kamel. We will have a pavilion in Sharm el-Sheikh, not for fun, but at the COP27, and we will show the strength of Med activities. So what I was saying is that we should work together. It is possible. It is fruitful because our projects are there. There are pilot cases. There are solutions. And now the big challenge is to bring these projects to our communities and to our enterprises. This is the key issue for the future, to bring innovation to the small farmers, to the smallholders, to our businesses in the area. And this is extremely important, not only for the social, economic welfare and well-being of our communities, but also because we must improve the profitability of our farmers. We need to put our farmers at the top of our agenda as innovators, as academics, as institutions, as regulators. This is extremely important. We need to create the conditions because our farmers can have decent wages, decent life, good productions. We need to support them during the ecological transition which is being on in these years. We need to support them to understand that sustainability is an opportunity and not a burden, and to avoid that there are some regulations that might harm their contribution to sustainability. And we know what we are thinking about. So this is extremely important. I'm concluding. Thank you again, Siam, for their nice invitation, saying that these changes, putting the farmers at the top of our agenda is extremely important, not only for the well-being of our communities, but also if we want to continue enjoying the healthy and delicious dishes of the Mediterranean diet. Thank you for your time.
Grazie dottor Riccaboni e grazie alla Fondazione Prima per essere qui con noi oggi a testimoniare il loro coinvolgimento. Paolo De Castro, parlamentare europeo e coordinatore dell'European Parliamentary Alliance Against Hunger and Malnutrition, è un costante punto di riferimento per il nostro centro e profondo conoscitore dello scenario agricolo internazionale. Il suo intervento a nome dell'alleanza parlamentare di cui è per l'appunto coordinatore è un segnale importante di grande interesse internazionale verso la tematica affrontata in questi giorni di lavoro.
If you don't mind, I will take advantages and I will speak in my own languages. So please take your handphone, I will speak in Italian. Buongiorno a tutti. Innanzitutto un grazie sentito al Siam per i suoi 60 anni, per la sua costante presenza nel dibattito euromediterraneo. Un saluto a tutte le autorità, in particolare ringrazio e saluto il Ministro dell'Agricoltura tunisino, con lui tutte le autorità mediterranee. Ovviamente un caro saluto alla dottoressa del gabinetto Wachikowski che parlerà dopo di me, ad Angelo Riccaboni, alla Fondazione Prima, le tante collaborazioni che abbiamo svolto e che abbiamo in animo ancora di fare. Ma io vorrei approfittare di questa terza grande conferenza partendo proprio dal titolo, Cambiamo strada. Bene, oggi ci troviamo effettivamente in una situazione complicata. Avevamo pensato e costruito questo ciclo di conferenze puntando al tema della dieta mediterranea come riferimento non solo per lo straordinario impatto che ha sulla salute, ma anche perché rappresenta uno strumento formidabile per venire incontro a quella transizione ecologica di cui oggi tutti parliamo. Dieta mediterranea che mette insieme gli aspetti legati alla convivialità, al cibo, alla messa in comune di valori, di culture e che nello stesso tempo dà un contributo all'uso del suolo, al consumo di prodotti che rappresentano minori consumi di proteine animali, più proteine vegetali, rappresentano sicuramente una risposta a questa grande sfida che oggi abbiamo davanti. Certo, quando l'avevamo costruita non c'era ancora la pandemia, gli effetti drammatici di questa pandemia e dei lockdown e di tutto ciò che ha generato in tutto il mondo, con la chiara centralità dell'agricoltura e del cibo. Ci siamo immediatamente resi conto di quanto importante sia il tema della sicurezza alimentare, della food security. Dopo l'invasione della Russia in Ucraina questo tema si è ulteriormente esacerbato, è diventato un problema di carattere globale. La messa in discussione delle esportazioni di cereali dalla Odessa, dal Mar Nero, ha sicuramente messo in difficoltà soprattutto i paesi che maggiormente hanno bisogno di questi prodotti. Ricordiamo, l'Ucraina e la Russia insieme rappresentano circa il 30% delle esportazioni mondiali di cereali. Fortunatamente le Nazioni Unite, la FAO, l'Unione Europea sono riuscite ad aprire questi corridoi e oggi possiamo dire che le navi partono da Odessa più o meno come era negli anni scorsi. Ma la situazione è drammatica perché dobbiamo riuscire a trovare un punto di equilibrio tra questa transizione ecologica, questa necessità di ridurre le emissioni nell'atmosfera, questa necessità di mettere al centro delle nostre politiche i cambiamenti climatici, e l'Europa lo ha fatto. Il Green Deal, il Farm to Fork, la Biodiversity Strategy, sono tutte conseguenze di una centralità che trova oggi la sicurezza alimentare. Ma evidentemente la difficoltà sta nel gestire questa transizione in modo tale che non si impatti sulla produzione. E questo forse è la sfida principale che noi oggi affrontiamo in Europa. Un'Europa che ha due culture che si confrontano, una quella mediterranea, che oggi qui rappresentata fortemente e solidamente, e una più nord europea, che vede più nella Lancet Commission delle Nazioni Unite la sua risposta, cioè nel modello che i consumatori devono essere accompagnati nelle scelte, i consumatori devono essere condizionati nelle scelte. È troppo importante la sicurezza alimentare, l'impatto sul pianeta, se non condizioniamo i consumatori verso scelte più salutistiche. Da qui nasce tutto quel ciclo di pensiero che ha portato avanti i sistemi di etichettatura a semaforo, il Nutri-Score, eccetera. A questa cultura si contrappone una cultura mediterranea, una cultura che dice non è il singolo prodotto su cui dobbiamo portare massima attenzione, ma è l'insieme dei prodotti, è la dieta, è un po' quello che la stessa European Food Safety Authority ha pubblicato recentemente uno studio parlando della centralità della dieta come elemento cruciale per rispondere alle grandi sfide. E qui ci confronteremo, lo dico portando i saluti della Commissione Agricoltura e Sviluppo Rurale del Parlamento Europeo, e qui ci confronteremo nei prossimi mesi, perché la Commissione Europea non è responsabilità del commissario Wojciechowski, è responsabilità della commissaria Kyriakides, ma nei prossimi mesi verrà presentata questa proposta dell'Unione Europea proprio per affrontare il tema dei sistemi di etichettatura e come regolare il comportamento del consumatore. Noi siamo qui oggi, e ringrazio ancora una volta il SIAM, Placido Placia, Maurizio Raeli, perché riaffermeremo in questi 3 giorni la centralità della dieta mediterranea come risposta a questa grande sfida. Abbiamo molti studi che lo dimostrano, in questi giorni saranno presentati, sia per gli aspetti salutistici, ma soprattutto per gli aspetti climatici, per l'impatto sull'ambiente, per la capacità di questa dieta di influenzare e quindi di impattare meno sull'ambiente rispetto a altre diete. Da qui è cruciale la riflessione che verrà in questi giorni, è cruciale quello che nei prossimi mesi ci confronteremo a livello europeo per arrivare poi a quello che speriamo sia un'armonizzazione nei sistemi di etichettatura. Da questo punto di vista il dibattito è ancora all'inizio, ci sono vari modelli, quello francese del Nutri-Score che è stato applicato in diversi paesi europei, quello italiano del Nutri-Inform, quello scandinavo del Chiol, un terzo sistema che è utilizzato già da anni dai paesi scandinavi, che è l'indicazione attraverso un unico bollino verde di un prodotto che ha determinate caratteristiche salutistiche. Ma solo il modello della dieta mediterranea, fatemelo dire, mette insieme tutti questi elementi e nel contribuire alla riduzione della CO2 nell'atmosfera dà un contributo anche fortemente dal punto di vista della salute. Non c'è alcun dubbio che i paesi che hanno diete alimentari che si ispirano alla dieta mediterranea hanno aspettative di vita superiori agli altri, hanno sicuramente impatto positivo sull'ambiente. Ecco, su questi temi ci confronteremo, quindi io faccio i miei personali in bocca al lupo a questi 3 giorni, a questi 21 tavoli tematici, e auguro davvero a tutti un buon lavoro e un forte sostegno da parte dell'alleanza che ho l'onore di coordinare a livello di Parlamento europeo, l'alleanza di circa una 50ina di colleghi di tutti i gruppi contro la fame, che ha proprio come scopo quello di provare a portare questa consapevolezza della drammaticità del momento in cui viviamo, portarla all'attenzione di tutto il mondo, perché nel chiudere, fatemelo dire, la risposta a queste grandi sfide non può che avvenire a livello globale. Non ci può essere una soluzione solo europea, non ci può essere una soluzione solo mediterranea. Noi dobbiamo affermare questo modello e cercare di portarlo a livello globale. E su questa vi saluto e vi ringrazio e vi auguro davvero un buon lavoro.
Grazie onorevole De Castro. Ho il piacere di chiedere a Joanna Stawowi, a cui diamo il benvenuto per la prima volta al SIAM di Bari e con la quale ci auguriamo di continuare a collaborare con coinvolgimento sempre maggiore, di intervenire in rappresentanza del commissario europeo all'agricoltura. Prego.
Yes, dear participants, honorable member of parliament, excellencies, good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to contribute to the opening remarks. My name is Janna Stavov. I am member of the cabinet of Commissioner Wojciechowski, who in the European Commission is in charge of agriculture. And in that cabinet, I am in charge of the Farm to Fork. So I find it very interesting and pertinent to be part of this conference. And I think it's also an opportunity to underline how much the Farm to Fork strategy converges with the priorities of the conference of the revival of the Mediterranean diet. So just to recall that the Farm to Fork strategy over 2 years ago meant to bring into food systems the ambition of the Green Deal, so to show some practical actions that we could take. And it is a very significant document because it is very comprehensive. It is for the first time that we look in the EU in such a way to bring together in a holistic way different sectors, different stakeholders to work together for the shift to sustainability. So if the Farm to Fork really created an overarching framework, then it's also very important to take sustainability as a lever and the result for the Mediterranean diet. And I would like to look today at the links between the topic of the conference and the common agricultural policy, how they are interrelated and how they are complementary. Of course, as a general remark, we know that in terms of environment and climate, business as usual is not possible. At the same time, if we want to bring a change that lasts, if we want to bring a change that actually addresses the challenges, we need to set a new path that will not cause excessive cost to the stakeholders, to farmers, to consumers. And that's why I think we need to be very mindful of the 3 pillars of sustainability: the economic, the social, and the environmental. And I would like to touch upon the 3, hopefully not being too long, but I think it's very important to mention the 3 of them in a balanced way. So first, the economic pillar. As said before, farmers should receive fair income for their hard work. The geopolitical situation, especially with the war in Ukraine, reminded us again how important it is that we can rely on our farmers, because food security means both accessibility and affordability. And this is only possible if our farmers remain in business, if in the years to come, they continue producing the food that comes to our table. How can we do it? Of course, the usual answer is that we should increase quality for a higher income. This is the typical option. That implies efforts in new production methods, sometimes reviving the good old production methods. It takes investments, it takes effort, it takes knowledge sharing. The Common Agricultural Policy is there to help farmers. We can create the enabling framework, we can provide funding, we can also help with our policy to take these new farming techniques, offer professional advice. For example, for many years, we have been supporting the uptake of organic farming, and it is giving results on the ground. As you know, the purpose is to have 25% of land under organic management, and we are really heading for that target very well. But to receive return on their investment, farmers need confidence that supply will meet demand. So there is a role to play by consumers and retailers. Of course, retailers have their responsibility. They must offer honest, adequate conditions to farmers as their trading partners. But I also want to talk about the efforts that are needed on the side of consumers. We need to increase their awareness, encourage healthy dietary choices. And this is really the task that is actually very linked to the topic of the conference, because this is the role of educational institutions. This is a way for partnerships between private and public actors. This is where we can engage in a dialogue with local communities to explain the value of quality food. So I think the conference is really a perfect opportunity also for me to learn and to come back on Friday with really a baggage of good ideas how we can improve on that. I would like to talk a little bit about the social dimension as well. Vibrant and lively rural areas is, of course, a long-term objective for the Common Agricultural Policy. It is a basic survival need for the European farming sector. How can we encourage farmers today to remain in business? How can they continue a rewarding activity in a global market facing competition from pushing them for more efficiency and leading to, in the end, to more production, industrial production methods? I think we need to appreciate traditional local food and people who deliver it. So we always talk about short supply chains, and this is truly the term to use here, because short supply chains reduce the environmental footprint of transport, but they offer much more. We need to remember that nutritious, healthy diets have evolved in specific contexts of regions and lifestyles of people. They are linked to the typical weather conditions, and they are based on plant and animal varieties which are actually adjusted to that climate conditions. So traditional diets like the Mediterranean diet allow farmers also to work in line with local conditions, with climate and consumers' expectations, and so to be more attuned to specific natural conditions and to the planetary boundaries. For this reason, the appreciation of traditional recipes and foods stemming from the cultural heritage should be one of the principles to uphold when preparing legislation. I refer to food labeling initiatives which the Commission embarked upon, and the aim is to facilitate healthy dietary decisions. We, of course, all subscribe to the general idea, but empowering consumers should be based on trust and respect of culinary traditions. The purpose should be to offer information while leaving the choice to individuals. Commission promised to deliver on this, and if we want to succeed, we need to build a fair system, not a complex system that hides the information that is in fact a black box, an algorithm that replaces a formula for a decision, and that in the end offers just one score supposedly representative for a wide variety of diverse products. We cannot put in the same category, to speak very bluntly, olive oil and a dietary soda drink and pretend that this is good for the consumers. So we need to defend olive oil. This is what I want to say, and we will. Finally, a word about the environment. The only future for farming is to become even more sustainable. I say even more because the path for transition is already there, and we are all here so numerous because it is very clear to all of us. The new Common Agricultural Policy enhanced the green dimension. We have more funding, we are more planet-minded, we have support instruments with, as I say, more resources, but also a greater variety of different options. And so I'm confident that agriculture will be part of the solutions and farmers are fully on board. However, the CAP alone cannot deliver on this challenge. The effort of transformation is huge. It is a gradual evolution, and we need to have all different actors in the value chain to truly commit to it. So we should have educated, informed consumers. We should have those people willing to pay for more sustainably produced food. We should have processors and retailers offering adequate prices to producers. Of course, if we achieve this balanced, perfect system in Europe, we must also promote it abroad with our trade partners. Protection of environment and climate change is a challenge that can only be tackled globally. And for two reasons. On the one hand, because if we incentivize this burdensome, let's say truly burdensome change inside the EU, it should not be undercut by competition from producers who are not bound by equivalent standards. It is also important to avoid exporting our pollution. We cannot feel complacent for having a very ambitious policy here in the EU if a large portion of our food would be coming from third countries where it would be produced with much higher environmental footprint. So only to be fair and true to our pledge, we need to work together in the international context. So I'm really optimistic to see that the conference is bringing together EU and non-EU countries, the private and public stakeholders to discuss the common cause of promoting the high quality, sustainable Mediterranean diet with the mindset that we should all think global and eat local. Thank you for your attention.
Grazie a tutti per questa sessione di saluti, grazie. Sappiamo che ci hanno raggiunto il vice sindaco Eugenio Di Sciascio e il dottor Nardone in rappresentanza della presidenza della Regione Puglia. Li invito a raggiungerci per un loro saluto. La città e la regione che oggi ospita il nostro convegno ha sempre avuto tra le sue peculiarità un grande senso di accoglienza e di amore per i cosiddetti forestieri. Chi arriva in Puglia non è mai uno straniero, ma ci dicono ha l'immediata sensazione di sentirsi a casa, come del resto accade in tutto il nostro Mediterraneo. Chiedo dunque a Eugenio Di Sciascio, vice sindaco di Bari, di portarci il saluto della nostra città.
Thanks, dear delegates, dear attendees, dear authorities and excellencies. It's a real pleasure and an honor for me to welcome you today in the metropolitan city of Bari on behalf of our mayor Antonio De Caro and our municipality. Being in Bari, I hope you will also have the chance to visit the city and the surroundings. But we are glad and we are honored to have you here today for several reasons. And we're thankful, we're glad also to thank SIAM for its long and fruitful presence in these years in our city. A beacon of the ability to put together and bring together people from the whole Mediterranean for so many years, with the ability of to make a difference in terms of growth all along the Mediterranean area. And so we're here also to celebrate the 60th anniversary, but we basically you're basically here to work on some of the most emerging challenges that come to our attention. We are in a world of great challenges, of interesting times, maybe too interesting. And we have to rise to the challenges, each in its own role, its own or her role, that have come to us. Because the climate change is a reality. The theme of nutrition is a reality. We're getting out of a pandemic. and we got into war, which is moving and changing the way we perceive our global presence. So Bari has always been a city of dialogue and of a presence in the Mediterranean area, also thanks to the presence of our well-known St. Nicholas as a beacon, as a symbol of dialogue, of attention to the whole Mediterranean area. And so I won't take any more time. Again, I'm willing to greet you and hope that you have fruitful work in this conference. And again, welcome in Bari. And I just mentioned our motto. In Bari, nobody is a foreigner. So again, welcome here today in Bari. Thanks.
Buongiorno a tutti. Sono molto felice di essere qui a rappresentare la Regione Puglia che è diciamo, lieto di ospitare questo convegno, orgoglioso di avere sul proprio territorio una struttura come il SEAM che ha fatto del dialogo e del Mediterraneo il proprio punto di riferimento, il punto di riferimento delle proprie attività. E siamo convinti che potrete apprezzare non soltanto l'ospitalità e l'efficienza del SIAM di tutta la regione, ma anche la qualità di un'amministrazione che rispetto ai temi del convegno diciamo così, ha avviato una strada che non ha bisogno di cambiamenti. Rispetto al tema della dieta mediterranea e dell'importanza che essa ha, dell'incrocio che c'è tra politica agricole, politiche della salute, politica dell'ambiente, la Regione Puglia ha da tempo avviato un percorso che è teso a custodire la biodiversità, ad aumentarla, a proteggerla e a valorizzarla. La biodiversità, per dirne una, è la nostra risposta a Xylella, la possibile risposta a Xylella. Noi abbiamo come Regione Puglia potenziato e sostenuto i gruppi di acquisto locale e le short supply chain di cui parlava poc'anzi il gabinetto, la rappresentante del gabinetto del commissario Wojciechowski. Noi continuiamo a sostenere i mercati locali, convinti appunto che la dieta mediterranea non è un termine usato a sproposito, perché è un patrimonio di tutte le nazioni che sono qui oggi coinvolte in questi 3 giorni. La dieta mediterranea è appunto uno degli strumenti fondamentali per raggiungere obiettivi, ripeto, agricoli, per le nostre aziende, per i prodotti tipici, per obiettivi per la sanità della Puglia. Il motto è una lunga vita felice in Puglia, e la lunga vita è un obiettivo fondamentale che lo stile di vita e lo stile alimentare ci può consentire, ed è anche un obiettivo ambientale, perché riusciremo in questo modo a ridurre l'utilizzo lo sfruttamento di risorse naturali e l'inquinamento, e quindi di conseguenza anche gli effetti nefasti dei cambiamenti climatici. Quindi siamo particolarmente fieri di avere che la Puglia possa ospitare questa 3 giorni. Di nuovo grazie e auguri al SEAM per i suoi 60 anni. Un saluto a tutte le autorità da nome del Presidente della Regione e dell'assessore, che avrebbero tanto voluto essere qui, ma per altri impegni chiaramente hanno dovuto rinunciare. Buon lavoro per i prossimi 3 giorni. Grazie.
Grazie. Continuiamo la sessione degli interventi con dei keynote speech e chiedo a Placido Plaza e a Nasser Kamal di raggiungerci. I keynote speech verteranno in particolare sugli sforzi collettivi che possono portare ad accelerare il raggiungimento degli obiettivi dell'Agenda 2030 delle Nazioni Unite. Placido Plaza è segretario generale del SIAM, grande conoscitore del Mediterraneo, e gli chiedo di intervenire. Grazie.
Buongiorno a tutti, un piacere di stare di nuovo qui in Bari in un'occasione importante per le attività cooperative del SIAM e importante per le iniziative che abbiamo lanciato con i nostri colleghi degli istituti, ma anche i colleghi delle istituzioni nazionali. Penso che in questi giorni si vede qui, siamo sopra un podio dove c'è il 60 anniversario del SIAM. Il 60 anniversario del SIAM è una larga storia di successo, dei problemi, ma c'è anche una visione per il futuro, una definizione delle linee prioritarie in quale il centro va a investire e quelle che hanno stato determinate e discusse per il nostro Consiglio di amministrazione dove i Paesi membri discutono queste priorità. Ladies and gentlemen, dear partners and colleagues, I'm pleased and honored to address the Third World Mediterranean Diet Conference 3 years after the second one held in Palermo, which marked a major step in FAO, UFM, and SIAM collaboration. Indeed, after this event, a unique tripartite agreement was signed between our 3 institutions to provide a common framework for collaboration to accelerate progress on the Agenda 2030 through collaborative actions for supporting the shift towards more sustainable food systems in the Mediterranean region. I mean, sustainable food systems are at the heart of our conference. They are at the heart of SIAM endeavor and priorities, and that's what our countries request us to contribute to. Let me begin this address by thanking the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of Italy for its strong and continued support to SIAM and the Bari Institute since its creation. It has been for us a basis that has been continuous in time, strong, and also giving the institution an input on the priorities that should be for the region. Thank you to Maurizio and all the team of the Institute who have deployed once again immense efforts to organize this 3rd edition of the conference. Let me convey a special thanks to Nasser Kamel for being with us today and for all the cooperation we have been able to develop with the UFM in the last years, and of which sustainable agri-food production system have become a central topic of cooperation between our 2 institutions. To our historic partner, the FAO, which unfortunately hasn't been able to be with us in this morning, our deep appreciation for the strong involvement in the support to launch this common platform and for we have a Mediterranean wind with us also in this very beautiful setting that our colleagues from SIAM have prepared for us. So the launching of this common platform and the preparation of the independent dialogues that have been organized in the framework of the UN Summit Food System owe a lot to the efforts deployed by FAO. Thanks to them, the stock-taking exercise realized for the Mediterranean region has been a solid starting point to reflect on the ongoing efforts for our countries and other stakeholders. As well, it will be an opportunity to highlight the specific challenges facing the Mediterranean. At a time where the world and the Mediterranean in particular are facing unprecedented series of crises which are severely impacting our food systems, it is important to underline the presence with us today of most of the important countries of these regions, and there will be a specific session devoted to the national plans to confront this sustainability and how the Mediterranean diet can be instrumental in contributing to it. The contribution and experiences of these countries, as well as other stakeholders, will be fundamental in identifying concrete and sustainable paths to accelerate this Agenda 2030 in the Mediterranean. As some of the previous speakers have said, a strong Mediterranean dialogue is needed to jointly move towards a common understanding of the complex environment of our food systems and to generate shared commitments for the transformation, leading to what we need the most in the region, meaning solidarity and cooperation at the regional level. In this line, and as an outcome of the second conference of Palermo, we have been strengthening our efforts towards building up and stabilizing our multi-stakeholders initiative for sustainable food systems in the Mediterranean, jointly with the FAO, with the UFM, but also taking on board the Prima Foundation, the UN One Planet Network, and we hope pretty soon other relevant actors in the region. So this third conference with 21 sessions, 7 side events, over 150 speakers aims at what? Mainly, we want to contribute to an effective transition to climate resilient food systems by building up innovative approaches, promoting green and blue bioeconomy, reducing environmental risk, and managing ecological scarcity within a One Health development approach. It aims also at mobilizing private and public investments in order to respond to the multiple interdependent challenges with concrete actions on the ground with the countries, and to strengthen what I mentioned is essential, this regional dialogue and cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, addressing the challenges the region will face will need a lot of investment in research, in innovation, in developments of skills, and SIAM is very well tooled to contribute to these different parts of the investment that will be needed. That's also why the magnitude of these challenges calls for an interinstitutional collaboration, which is, and for us, this is a unique opportunity to bring together different mandates, but strongly convergent, and to pool resources to elaborate common vision and jointly develop these actions that we call for the countries and on the ground. We hope this conference will be a milestone in a way that we know is long and hard, but on which you will always find SIAM ready to cooperate with you. Thank you very much for your attention.
Nasser Kamel è il segretario generale dell'Unione per il Mediterraneo, con la quale il SIAM ha stretto un'alleanza particolarmente intensa e fruttuosa, come abbiamo sentito dal segretario generale Placido Plaza, e con la quale si condividono intenti e strategie di azione per incidere sui cambiamenti nell'area di intervento che accomuna le nostre due istituzioni. Ho l'onore e il piacere di invitarlo ad intervenire.
Ministers, Excellency, dear colleagues, Direttori Raeli, who is hosting us today. It's really a pleasure to be here today at the opening of the SIAM conference on the revitalization of the Mediterranean diet. Let me start by thanking SIAM and especially my very dear friend, Placido Plaza, for always counting on the Union for the Mediterranean for this great initiative, building on the partnership we started years ago in Palermo, as well as for the unconditional support to the wider set of activity run jointly with FAO, Prima, and one planet in the framework of the Sustainable Food System Platform. When I look at you, I see so many familiar faces: Angelo Ricaboni, Mohammed Al-Shinawi, Abdelhamid Al-Zuhairi, Ihab Badawi, Sinan Florenza, and so many other friends and colleagues and partners. I sincerely hope that our common alliance and collaboration on this, which is raising a lot of interest, continues to generate undoubted benefits in terms of convergence of effort and resources throughout the region. Ladies and gentlemen, we are all together experiencing one of the most challenging times of our history. The Earth Overshoot Day this year happened on July 28. This means that humanity currently uses 75%, more than the planet ecosystem can sustain. This date actually for this year fell one day earlier than last year, showing that despite all the warnings and action in place, we continue to widen our annual ecological deficit. At Mediterranean level, this situation is particularly complex. Our region is indeed using about 3 times more natural resources than its ecosystem can provide, and is warming 20% faster than most of the world. I'm not going to mention the estimated increase in temperatures, because all of you have lived it this summer. So it's no longer prediction, it's facts on the ground. We have seen also record sea temperature with potential devastating effects for our marine life and a multiplication of extreme local events. More specifically here in Italy, the collapse of the Marmolada Glacier, the Po Basin, which was gripped into an unprecedented drought, the recent water bombs in the region of Marche are the confirmation of a trend, not just an anomaly. Italy is at the center or the hub of what scientists call a climate hotspot, a region of the planet where the effects of global heating are showing more visibly and faster than elsewhere. In other words, Italy is at the heart of this region called the Mediterranean that is experiencing this dire situation. In the face of this extreme situation, the recent COVID-19 pandemic reminded us of the need to bring innovation and sustainable production and consumption practices at the heart of the way we interact with our natural resource. We need more than ever to address food systems, both on land and of course at sea, and the related value chain. Indeed, the acceleration brought forward by the pandemic and now, of course, by the war in Ukraine, reconfirm that the food system on which we depend are not only increasingly interdependent, but also growingly vulnerable. There is therefore an urgent need to take measures in the short term to ensure the flow of basic foodstuff and avoid disaster, but also and particularly on the medium and long term to increase the resilience of our region against these trends in an increasingly rocky world. We can easily identify 3 concrete working areas where there is the will and the potential to do more together. First, climate action, of course. Farmers in the Mediterranean have always adapted to the unpredictability of weather, but climate change is changing this paradigm and seriously hampering their resilience against shocks. We need to work on researching, and that's your role actually, new solution for adaptation against climate change, and support public-private partnerships for financing, mitigation, and adaptation for our agricultural and water systems. The UFM ministers agreed in July on a new research roadmap specifically for climate change, which will be led in by a very large degree by our partner in PRIMA. Second, we need to create employment. And by that, I mean employment in rural communities. We must work on ensuring successful, inclusive, and fair career opportunities in rural and coastal areas, especially for the youth that suffer from high unemployment, in order to ensure that value chains don't get interrupted and the food productions become more and more sustainable and modernized. This also requires a serious discussion on skills and knowledge production. Third, innovation. Innovation in our food systems. The one change that we would really like to see is a serious investment in food research and the use of technology to help alleviate the current and future crisis. The WEFI, as we call it, water, energy, food, environment nexus, should be the mantra for recovery going forward. Because the crisis calls for an integrated and holistic approach of management that takes into consideration all the pertinent interrelated factors. And let me here thank Italy for having taken the lead on this and having organized on June 8th the Mediterranean Ministerial Dialogue on the food security crisis, which I had the opportunity and the honor to attend. To put forward in this conference and discuss the urgent need to work together on this nexus approach. We at the Union for the Mediterranean have been committed to enhance this approach with our strategic partners, SIHAM, FAO, PRIMA, One Planet, as well as other key partners in the region. We continuously promote work on enhanced sustainable food systems in the Mediterranean to tackle more inclusive, effective, and coordinated solution in view of improving livelihoods in a balanced socio-economic and ecological systems that are able to create jobs within circular, green, and blue economy models. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, food systems are therefore a clear example on how joint research activities can help tackle global challenges through a multidimensional approach based on data, facts, and new solutions. Over the last years, growing awareness of the challenge related to this sector in the region have induced Euro-Mediterranean countries to work together through science diplomacy, achieving important results and fostering a positive sense of belonging to a cross-border community based on skills, openness, and win-win solutions. You can always count on us to promote this kind of cooperation at the heart of the needs and priority of our Mediterranean, and hand in hand with all the relevant stakeholders. Actually, this conference today is a great step in this direction and towards the big rendezvous we have in very few weeks, which is the COP27, where we are setting the first ever Mediterranean Pavilion with SIHAM and a coalition of committed partners, including PRIMA, of course. This COP will represent a golden opportunity for us to raise our voice as a united region, raising visibility on the urgent challenges we face, but also on the solutions and opportunity that are within our reach. Dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, Cooperation is the name of the game, and we are more than ready to play. Thank you very much.
Grazie, grazie mille. Siamo quindi giunti alla fase conclusiva di questa cerimonia di inaugurazione di apertura della conferenza mondiale. A questa fase contribuiranno i più alti rappresentanti di 3 grandi paesi mediterranei. In rappresentanza del Ministro dell'Agricoltura e dello Sviluppo Rurale della Repubblica di Albania, chiedo dunque alla Viceministra Ermira Gjeci di voler portare il saluto del suo paese e di Sua Eccellenza la Ministra Frida Krifka. Grazie.
Dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development of Albania, let me begin by extending my sincere appreciation to the SIAM and to organizer for hosting this event in this crucial moment we are facing. It is a great opportunity for us to review our developments, to exchange views and dialogue on how to further enhance sustainable and resilient food system in Mediterranean diet. A real challenge in food systems in Albania is build partnerships with multi-sectoral and multi-level stakeholders and promote education on the sustainable food system, food safety and nutrition. But during and after the UN summit last year, the awareness of sustainable food systems increased among the stakeholders. And since then, Albania has been engaging in regional and global food systems coalitions, dialogues, to exchange inspiration and to look for a collective solution towards sustainable food systems. Think globally, act locally. By applying this idea, while considering the regional level joint actions, Albania started thinking of strategic interventions to transform agriculture in the economy. The Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development prepared the new strategy on agriculture, rural development and fisheries 2021-2027, including the components which address national pathway and sustainable food system development. One of our priorities is the agrotourism sector, focusing on preserved Albanian cooking traditions combined with Albanian fundamental custom of hospitality, of which serving guests and visitors with food is an inseparable element to the hosting. Albanian agrotourism is welcoming tourists all year round to Albanian farms and beautiful nature to enjoy and learn about local culture and food. A range of microclimates across the country allows a suitable environment for the cultivation of nearly every kind of herb, vegetable, and fruit. Albanian cuisine is also representative of Mediterranean cuisine. Moreover, sustainable agrotourism in Albania also puts an emphasis on the sustainable management of natural resources, conserving ecosystem and biodiversity, practicing organic farming, and promoting sustainable production and consumption, as well as a healthy diet. Considering the complexity of food system and multiple challenges for Mediterranean countries, a systematic approach to sustainable food systems, SFS, and coordination of actions are necessary. As part of the transformation of food systems in the Mediterranean region, the implementation of Albania's envisaged pathway is being supported by the SFS Med platform. Albania selected strategic intervention as a lever for the transformation of the agriculture and food systems is the agrotourism sector. We need to further collaborate for green and blue economies for the Mediterranean, linking circular economies and sustainable food consumption and production through Mediterranean diet. Agrobiodiversity should be conserved and used sustainably while protecting local genetic resources and traditions. Changing the perception of the Mediterranean diet from only a healthy diet to a strategic resource of sustainable food system, linking consumption and production in a healthy and sustainable way, the benefits will be multiplied and last for a long time. Platforms like the SFS-MED are important mechanisms to provide a space for countries to discuss synergies and collaboration about these key levers for food system transformation, also in follow-up to the summit. In other words, our government will promote and support the provision of sufficient, safe, healthy, nutritious, and affordable food that meets the nutritional needs of all. While providing safe and nutritious food, sustainable food system should foster inclusive economic development and social equality and provide adequate incentives and returns to food producers, processors, and distributors. Sustainable food system also should optimize the use of natural resources and protect the environment through sustainable food and agricultural practices, efficient sustainable food consumption and production through the Mediterranean diet. Looking forward to a fruitful meeting today. Thank you.
In rappresentanza del Ministero dell'Agricoltura di Palestina interviene il viceministro Abdallah Saleh.
Good morning, dear Dr. Maurizio Raeli, Director of Siam Bari, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Minister of Agriculture in the State of Palestine, it is an honor to be here today in this important conference with such distinguished representative and expert. Allow me to thank the organizer for the excellent work and Bari Institute for hosting it in the nice city of Bari. I would like also to express sincere gratitude to the people and government of Italy for the continued partnership and support toward boosting development, livelihood, food security in our region. The last two regional projects, Jamaiza Water Mediterranean Innovation by Bari Institute implemented over the past years are just two good examples for such productive partnership. Ladies and gentlemen, the Southern Mediterranean and Middle East countries share with all neighbors all the major environmental and economic challenges to sustainability of food system, as well as the decline of the Mediterranean diet. However, our region is more affected by climate change consequences compounded by natural scarcity of water, as well as fragile political setting and conflicts. This creates more urgent need to address the challenges and capture the opportunities for the future of our people. Palestine is under Israeli occupation since long and is characterized by vulnerable food security situation. It means uniqueness among the southern Eastern Med countries. Occupation imposes several restrictions in the movement of people and goods and access to the natural resources and markets. It causes long-term political, socio-economical, humanitarian, and development crisis that has created largely distorted economy based on the non-dynamic and non-tradable sectors. The low capacity of economic growth to create employment, considering the significant population growth, creates a permanent pressure on the livelihood and food security of the various vulnerable groups. The effect of the world price increase of strategic food commodities and production inputs as a result, COVID-19 and Russia-Ukraine crisis were very clear in the food system of our region, considering the high dependency on import. Hundreds of thousands of Palestinian families find their source of livelihood and resilience in the agriculture food system and agriculture. Agriculture accounts in Palestine for about 7.3% of the GDP, but up to 24% of the total export. The food system is capable to absorb labor from vulnerable groups. Moreover, it represents an important adaptive strategy for many Palestinian households at times of crisis. The food system is not only key for achieving SDG 2 or zero hunger, but also contribute to the achievements of another SDGs through the humanitarian development peace nexus. As stated by Mr. Guterres, UN Secretary General, food system hold the power to realize our shared vision for better world. In the light of our common challenge and vision to improve Mediterranean diet and food system in our region, it is mandatory to strengthen our cooperation and joint work to enable collective actions and share benefit to our people. I would like to suggest 2 examples on concrete actions that can be taken on this regard. The first one, establishing a regional food midterm monitoring center to ensure timely monitoring and analysis of the common challenges and definition of common policies and strategies for the whole region toward consistent improvement of the food systems and Mediterranean diet. The second, boosting synchronized regional efforts to access climate change funding, such as NAMA or Green Climate Fund, to strengthening regional cooperation and capacities for addressing climate change consequences and help our economics be more resilient and more sustainable. Allow me finally to reiterate my sincere thanks for the organizer for giving me this opportunity, and I wish the best of success and fruitful outcomes of this event. Thank you very much.
E dunque ho infine l'onore di cedere la parola per l'intervento conclusivo di questo nostro incontro stamattina, di questa apertura della terza conferenza mondiale sulla dieta mediterranea, a Sua Eccellenza Mahmoud Elias Hamza, Ministro dell'Agricoltura, delle Risorse Idriche e della Pesca della Repubblica di Tunisia.
Bonjour tout le monde, I will speak in French. Bonjour tout le monde, Monsieur le maire de la ville de Bari, Monsieur le président de la région de Pouille, Monsieur le représentant du ministère des Affaires étrangères et de la coopération internationale d'Italie, Excellences, Monsieur le vice-ministre de l'Agriculture de l'État de Palestine, Excellences, Madame la vice-ministre de l'Agriculture d'Albanie, Monsieur le président de la Fondation Prima, Monsieur Paolo Di Castro, coordinateur européen, Monsieur le secrétaire général de l'UPM, Monsieur le secrétaire général du SIAM, Monsieur le directeur de l'IAM de Bari, chers collègues de la grande famille du SIAM, honorables invités, c'est pour moi un grand honneur de participer au nom de la République tunisienne à cette conférence sur la sécurité alimentaire et la durabilité dans la région méditerranéenne organisée par le SIAM de Bari pour soutenir un dialogue multilatéral afin d'aider les pays à atténuer la vulnérabilité et assurer la durabilité face à l'accumulation des défis du secteur de la production agricole. Je voudrais d'abord saisir cette occasion pour remercier le ministère des Affaires étrangères pour l'invitation, mais aussi je voudrais saisir cette occasion pour rappeler la qualité, l'importance et la richesse de notre coopération avec le gouvernement italien et en particulier ses institutions qui n'ont cessé d'accompagner la Tunisie dans son processus de développement. La crise sanitaire et la crise russo-ukrainienne, les enjeux environnementaux et leurs liens étroits avec l'économie et la finance nous interrogent sur le modèle de production actuel et nous obligent à imaginer un avenir différent et plus durable. Ne pas résoudre les questions de résilience et de durabilité des systèmes de production alimentaire aura certainement un impact direct sur la capacité du système méditerranéen à garantir ce qu'il a toujours assuré depuis des millénaires à toutes les communautés humaines, c'est-à-dire la sécurité alimentaire. Cette sécurité a toujours constitué une préoccupation majeure dans la politique socio-économique d'une manière générale et s'est concrétisée par divers programmes de développement, considérant les 4 piliers, à savoir la disponibilité, la qualité, l'accès et la durabilité. En Tunisie, cette politique a permis d'assurer un approvisionnement régulier du marché local en produits alimentaires et a permis de traverser la crise sanitaire liée au Covid-19. Au cours de ces 5 dernières années, la Tunisie a occupé entre la 52e et la 55e place sur 113 pays selon l'indice mondial de sécurité alimentaire. Un classement relativement acceptable, mais qui cache une vulnérabilité croissante pour plusieurs facteurs. D'abord, les changements climatiques qui affectent de plus en plus la production agricole, notamment les cultures pluviales, sachant que les études montrent que la Tunisie compte parmi les 10 pays les plus concernés par les effets du changement climatique, mais aussi l'importance au niveau de la dépendance aux importations des céréales qui a atteint une moyenne de 63% au cours de ces 5 dernières années, une denrée qui représente 50% des apports énergétiques de la ration alimentaire du consommateur tunisien, mais aussi des exploitations et des exploitants agricoles qui peinent à reprendre leur activité après les effets négatifs des crises successives touchant notamment les petits exploitants qui sont majoritaires en Tunisie. D'autre part, l'augmentation des prix de l'énergie, des intrants agricoles vont se répercuter sur la capacité des agriculteurs à maintenir leur activité de production pendant les prochaines campagnes agricoles, ce qui pourra engendrer un problème de disponibilité des denrées alimentaires, mais aussi plus de fragilité chez les populations rurales. Mesdames et messieurs, honorables invités, les rapports de la FAO sur les perspectives des récoltes de la situation alimentaire prévoient une insécurité alimentaire préoccupante et l'accroissement du nombre de pays qui auront besoin d'une aide alimentaire extérieure. 44 pays, dont 33 en Afrique, avec des risques de famine dans au moins 4 pays. Cette situation nous amène à œuvrer tous, aussi bien au niveau national qu'international, pour reconsidérer l'agriculture comme un secteur de choix dans nos politiques de développement afin de traverser cette crise avec le minimum de dégâts et améliorer l'état de la sécurité alimentaire à moyen et long terme. Au niveau national, nous sommes convaincus de l'importance de poursuivre les efforts pour lever les contraintes qui entravent le développement de l'agriculture et promouvoir les systèmes alimentaires durables. La vision du secteur à l'horizon 2035, dans laquelle s'insère le plan de développement 2023-2025, met l'accent sur les priorités suivantes. D'abord, optimiser l'exploitation des ressources naturelles et protéger les paysages et la biodiversité et s'adapter au changement climatique. Mais aussi promouvoir les systèmes de production, les chaînes de valeur durables, valorisant les spécificités locales et les variétés qui préservent les ressources naturelles et résistent à la sécheresse. Aussi, adopter une approche de développement global et inclusive pour les différentes catégories, en particulier les petits agriculteurs, les jeunes, les femmes en milieu rural. Enfin, favoriser un environnement attractif pour les investisseurs par des services d'appui plus adaptés à la spécificité des différentes catégories d'acteurs et plus efficaces, c'est-à-dire des incitations à l'investissement, du financement, l'assurance et l'accompagnement. Mesdames et messieurs, la Tunisie a toujours opté pour un modèle de développement qui se focalise sur la consécration des objectifs des ODD à l'horizon 2030. Le rapport national volontaire sur la mise en œuvre des objectifs du développement durable 2021 a fait ressortir un progrès conséquent pour l'amélioration des conditions de vie des Tunisiens. Les objectifs du pays sont axés sur la consolidation de l'investissement dans le capital humain, le soutien indéfectible des couches sociales les plus vulnérables, le développement équitable entre les régions et sur la libéralisation de l'initiative économique et l'ouverture sur l'extérieur. L'agriculture et les industries agroalimentaires occupent une place privilégiée dans l'œuvre du développement, surtout en raison de leur importante contribution au PIB, 17%, et à l'emploi, plus que 1 million de Tunisiens, et aux exportations. Aussi, l'agriculture a une vocation sociale fondamentale, surtout en matière de sécurité alimentaire et de génération de revenus aux petits agriculteurs dans les régions de l'intérieur du pays. L'État apporte un soutien indéfectible aux agricultures et aux agriculteurs en vue de leur assurer les moyens de production, l'accès au financement, la formation, les services de vulgarisation et d'appui, puisque le secteur agricole reste toujours vulnérable face aux conditions climatiques et aux faiblesses diverses des écosystèmes agricoles. Néanmoins, le contexte économique sur le plan national et international est devenu de plus en plus défavorable, avec l'avènement de crises en cascade ayant fortement aggravé les écosystèmes de production. La crise alimentaire qui nous menace, certaines régions, peut affecter des millions de personnes de classes vulnérables, mais aussi de classes moyennes, exige des efforts de la communauté internationale pour mettre le dossier de la sécurité alimentaire dans ses priorités, notamment en accordant un soutien pour les pays les plus touchés, garder fonctionnel le système mondial d'échange des denrées de base, d'énergie et d'intrants agricoles sans aucune forme de restriction. À moyen terme, l'élan devrait porter sur des actions stratégiques, notamment le financement des infrastructures liées à la mobilisation des ressources hydrauliques, aux énergies renouvelables et aux infrastructures telles que les pistes agricoles. Le renforcement de la résilience des agriculteurs repose à son tour sur la transformation des activités agricoles à travers des appuis technologiques spécifiques dans le cadre de l'adaptation des systèmes agricoles et de la promotion des chaînes de valeur. Enfin, également la consécration du rôle social de l'État est plus que nécessaire à travers les transferts additionnels aux familles à faible revenu et aux petits agriculteurs pour les aider à supporter le renchérissement des prix des produits alimentaires et des frais d'exploitation additionnels des firmes agricoles. Je voudrais enfin vous remercier de m'avoir accordé cette opportunité d'être parmi vous aujourd'hui. Je vous remercie aussi pour votre attention et je vous souhaite plein succès pour votre conférence.
Grazie eccellenza e Grazie agli onorevoli viceministri per questa testimonianza e per essere presenti qui oggi. Adesso siamo veramente giunti alla conclusione. Prima di chiudere vi ricordo che vorremmo fare questa family photo, quindi di avvicinarvi a questo palco per raccoglierci tutti e avere questo ricordo del nostro evento. Ringrazio tutti per l'attenzione, buon soggiorno in Puglia, a Bari e al SIAM. Buon lavoro a tutti. Grazie.